simple fact. Does anyone know about this place representing the Dome of the Rock? Does anyone know about the New Jerusalem having been built in the square mile of London conveniently after the Great Fire of London in 1666? Does anyone know this stuff? Because it's been very much covered.
It is in a comic book to From Hell, the Freemason conspiracy thing.
So I don't really want to tell you stuff that you think is coming from another planet, but if anyone wants to know that above what you're talking about here about names and identities and egos, there's a...
Can you explain that?
Yes. If anyone's interested, I can.
Yes.
I know all about this stuff. And I don't need a machine to make me loud. I don't need to be enraged. And I don't need to shout.
New World Order.
Right?
Has anybody got a light?
On this planet, Washington, D.C., the square mile of London, and the Vatican share a different set of rules.
Take it.
Some of you will have heard this before. You can check it all on the internet and it's there and it's true.
It's on the net.
Because it's on the internet.
The square mile of London, the Vatican, and Washington, D.C. have a shared set of laws that are above the laws of the countries that they're in. The City of London, as people have alluded to, has a separate set of laws to Great Britain's laws. And this is very relevant to where we are in terms of to whom do we apply for sanctuary. In the physical world, the only name who is entitled to give us sanctuary here and has done so, and by his grace we are not challenged by the plods, and he's the Dean. Because the Dean has not told us we have to leave, he has consented with his name and title to be allowed to let us all be here. And if he's one of them kind of deans that wears cotton socks, then bless them. If he wears sandals, he won't need a blessing on his cotton socks. This thing is styled, this beautiful piece of architecture, which only the inspiration of the ideal perfectionism suggested through the scraps of paper we have about the life of one who may or may not have inspired the whole world to believe or not that at least the story exists which could inspire anyone. No big claim for a dead man who never even said any of that. So we're here, by grace, sponsored by the Dean, to work out something about a crisis which affects every human and any other species of dimension which may exist outside the dementia of our government control system, which we all sponsor until we don't. Not a hard equation to change which side of that you want to be on. Except some people invented spirituality, which is rubbish, to make it seem like you have to jump through a hoop backwards to choose in any given moment whether you want to breathe your own fresh air or someone else's mental concept. Am I losing anyone here? That's the written word. This is not the written word. Is that complicated to anyone about why we have to swear in a Bible? The Bible is not the truth. The law system is not the truth. It has no power over anyone unless you want to empower yourself, having a protest to test whether you're a pro at realizing picking on people to show that you don't have to pick on people anymore is just embarrassing.
It doesn't make spirituality bad.
With regard to the law here, all I want to say before I disappear out of here is that in solution to the world crisis about the economy and how we're going to share the big problem that we've all agreed we all have now, about the people making the coffee and not having water in the countries they come from because we're addicted to coffee here, about the people in Africa whose land and water is taken from them so they can grow lettuce so Tesco's can give you so you can let it rot and then throw in your fucking rubbish bin world. That's the fucking crisis here. And for a solution to that, under this dome of the rock in New Jerusalem, if the Dean will kindly open the doors the day after tomorrow, I'll lead a few of us in who are good at listening to invisible voices of wisdom. And we'll hear from Christ himself, and there'll be 33 of us maybe to agree that we heard the same thing, a solution. And we'll walk out the great big doors that the Dean opened and says, we've all agreed there's no debt. The debt was paid by the principle upon which capitalism was founded. So that's what I'm going to do, and it's only